Hi, this is Michael Van Horn. Welcome to my kitchen, and today I'm going to prepare something for you special. One of my favorite things, everybody knows I love Italian food. Today I'm going to make one of my favorite things. It's a stuffed ricotta eggplant, but I'm going to use Sicilian eggplants. It's not as bitter, less seeds in it, very, very good. But before I get started, somebody's breathing on my heels. He wants to be introduced. Everybody knows my famous sous chef. Say hello to Bailey, my sous chef. Bailey, come. Say hello to everybody. Bailey, say hello. Say hello to Bailey, everybody. There you go. Not going to say hi? Nothing? Just going to eat? Okay. All right. So I'm going to make this eggplant. This is a cheese lover's eggplant. So if you're someone who loves cheese, get ready, because this is going to blow your mind. Now, some of the ingredients and some of the things that I use in mine is I use a fresh ricotta cheese. Okay, now you can buy it in a can, in a jar, and it comes in those plastic containers. Whatever you like. I also use fresh Pecorino Romano cheese. I use some of that and grate it up, and I use a fresh Mozzarella cheese. We have some breadcrumbs to season the eggplant. I got fresh basil. I love basil. I love basil just about in anything Italian. You can use a jar. I use a jar. I don't go out and make my own marinara sauce. Just buy whatever you like. Whatever your favorite is, get it and use it. And obviously I use some Italian seasoning and some salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to get cutting here. I'll explain things as I go, but I'm really excited for you to share in this. I'm anxious to hear some of the way you make it compared to the way I make it. Everybody has a different way. Some people roll it. I stuff mine. Mine's a little bit different the way I make it because I don't use the long eggplants. I use the Sicilian eggplant. So it's really difficult to roll them because they're not very big. So I'm going to get started and I'll show you what I do. First thing that I do is I cut up my eggplants and then I season them with a little bit of salt, and then I put them on a paper towel and let them dry a little bit. Drain some of the water out of it. But I cut this about a 1/4 inch thick. Kind of get a look at that. Got a little bit of skin on there. You want to make sure that you remove all of the skin. I just love eggplant. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so we'll cut the eggplants up in about a 1/4 inch. Season them a little bit of salt and pepper. And you can see here, there's not nearly as much seeds in this as there is in a typical eggplant. I just absolutely love it. I mean, there's different ways of making it. Some people like to make it with pine nuts and other ways of making it, but this is it's the way that I make it. So we'll take that, we'll put a little salt and pepper on it, season it, put it between some paper towel, let it dry out for about 5-10 minutes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in some beaten egg. I'm going to get some egg, about 2 eggs, beat them up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in some Italian breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to deep fry them in a little bit of olive oil. What I do first is, after I have the eggplant seasoned a little bit, heat up some olive oil. I want to make sure it's good and hot. Coat it in a little bit of, dip it in some egg, and then put it in some Italian breadcrumbs. And then all you're going to do is you're going to put it in the olive oil, let it cook for a few minutes until it's brown on both sides. Doesn't take very long. You need to watch it. You can get a couple going here at one time. This is not probably the healthiest way, but this is very, very good. Very tasty. So you're going to let this cook up for a few minutes, and then turn them and then drain them on some paper towel, and you are good to go. We are ready to go. We can take some of these out. You can see they're nice and golden brown. Drain them in some paper towel. And then we're ready to start stuffing. Just got to make our mix. Some fresh Italian parsley. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it. I've been trimming it here. Take it off. It takes a little bit of time to do this, but if you're going to make this, you got to use fresh ingredients. And fresh herbs are the best. You can actually save money doing this by putting a little herb garden out the back. So I'm going to trim this up, and then I'm going to dice it, or chop it I should say, and add it to my mixture. Okay, so I got a good handful, as you can see, good handful of Italian parsley. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to chop this up, and this is what's going to go inside my mixture with the different cheeses, with the ricotta. Cut that up real good. And you cut it as thick as you like. You know, some people like a little bit more coarse. I like mine a little bit finer. Chop it up real good. And this, you know, you can also keep it a little bit extra or cut a little bit more. Sometimes when it's all done, you like to put a little fresh Italian parsley on the top of it. But for me, I like to put on some fresh basil. So, all right, so we got that chopped up. And now we'll start putting our mixture together. Now I'm going to take some of the Pecorino Romano, cut them up into some chunks, put them in here. I like the fresh. You can buy it already ground up, but I like to do my own. Just a little bit more fresh. Love cheese. Well, if you like cheese, this is it. That is going to make a bulldog break his chain. Okay, put another piece in there, and use as much as you want. And I add egg to this, remember, to hold this whole mixture together. But I add the egg last, and the reason I add the egg last is I want to do a little taste. You know, I don't want to put too much cheese in, but I'm a cheese lover, so I don't know if that's even possible for me. Grate up some mozzarella cheese. I like to use a fresh mozzarella. You can use whatever you like. I also, when I make this, I'm not using part skim. I am using whole milk. Just love the flavor. I like that stringy. Fantastic. Now we got our cheese all ready to go. We will put this up here. Put some cheese in there, add that. Fantastic. And we'll stir that all up. Now we've got all our cheeses mixed in here together. We're going to add some of that fresh Italian parsley. Mix that up. Put a shot of salt in here. And again, I use sea salt. A little bit of fresh pepper. This one takes it really fine. Different pepper mills do different things, but I like really fine. So mix this together, fold it together. That is going to be fantastic. Okay, we got this folded real good. I tasted it. Tastes good. Maybe a little bit more salt. Just a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold in some eggs. I'm going to take some eggs. And you can use one or two. The eggs really hold it together nicely when it's baking. That in there. Now, this makes a fantastic Sunday meal. Something you can prepare ahead of time. Put in the, just put it in the refrigerator, and when you want to get it out, let it out for like 20-30 minutes and stick it in the oven at 350 degrees. I like to cover mine, and again, use your favorite sauce, whatever your favorite marinara sauce is. Put it on there. So we'll fold this together nicely, make sure it's mixed up really good. It's kind of a lost thing, people sitting down anymore for dinner, you know? Okay, we are now ready to start stuffing. You ready? Let's go. Ready to start stuffing? Take one of our eggplants. You can put as much as you want on here. I am a cheese lover. It's going to ooze out the sides. Bake that up. And I've taken a glass dish here, and I pre-sprayed it with a little bit of non-cooking, the sticking spray. Just put that in there. Put one down like that. Take another one. Put it over top. And you can be creative. I mean, if you want to put a slice of tomato or something in there, maybe a piece of prosciutto, and whatever you want. All my friends laugh at me the way I pronounce some of the Italian words. I act like I'm Italian. But I think in my previous life, at some point in time, I was definitely Italian. Because love the people, love the food. Put some in there. Put another one. I don't like to crowd my pan either. I like to give it some room because it's going to ooze out the side. And if you got kids, they'll like that little extra bite, you know? One more to go after this. And if you got extra left over, you can put them in, make stuffed shells, all kinds of stuff you can do. That was one big, for a Sicilian eggplant, that one was pretty darn big. All right, last one. We'll stick it in the oven. And you notice I really didn't create a recipe. You saw what I put in here. But everybody likes something different, you know, as far as the amount of ingredients. Some people like a little bit more cheese. You may want to put a little bit more cheese. As far as the mozzarella cheese. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our, take whatever you like as far as sauce. And we'll just ease some of that over the top. And when I bake mine, I like to keep it covered. Take about 30 to 40 minutes. I love sauce. Get some good Italian bread on there. Look at that. That is fantastic. All right, we'll put it in the oven. We'll be back in 30-40 minutes. We'll show you the end result. Fresh out of the oven, you can see how that cheese just oozes out the side. I love that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, put it on a plate. I put a little fresh basil on top, sprinkle it on top. And we're good. If you want to add a little bit of cheese, a little fresh grated cheese, whatever you want to put on top, maybe a little parsley, it's up to you. Fresh out of the oven, you want to let it sit for a little bit, probably a good 15-20 minutes because it is hot. That cheese is hot. But you want to let it cool down a little bit in the middle there so it doesn't slide all over the place. So we'll take a piece out. Put it on there. Look at that. Fantastic. Put a little bit of basil on top, a little sweet basil. I love basil. And then finish it off a little cheese. Whatever cheese you like. And can you tell? I like cheese. I hope you like it. Buon appetito.